Hello, everybody. For today's lesson, we're going to be talking about emergency operations, mainly lost communications. So, to begin, lost communications can happen for a multitude of reasons. There could be an ATC outage, something like a system failure, either on the ground or on your side with your radio speaker, even a microphone or headset. You could have a working headset, and the moment that cuts out, if you don't have a second one, that's complete lost comms. So, with that, if we have any failures, first thing we want to do is mainly troubleshoot. A lot of people kind of avoid that. Oh, lost comms, we should immediately do this, that. First thing I usually think of is it an actual emergency? Is it an actual problem? Or is it something like, my microphone button must have gotten stuck? Or, hey, my headset wasn't plugged in all the way. Having a lost comms procedure like that and then realizing, my microphone was just simply not pushed in all the way could make you feel like an idiot. So, firstly, troubleshoot, looking at any problems, any failures, double checking with ATC, Bakersfield Tower, comms check. Going once, going twice, nothing. Maybe try it on a different frequency. Bakersfield departure, Bakersfield approach, radio check. No one's saying anything. Okay, maybe we do have a real problem. After that, once we confirmed, hey, it's an actual lost comms procedure, we're going to go ahead and squawk 7600, as we've been told for VFR and IFR. And now we're going to go into lost comm procedure for routing. Have FMEA, your last ATC assigned route. If not, your radar vectors. If not, your assigned routes, and then your expected, and then your final is going to be your filed, whatever you filed. And for altitude, it's whichever is the highest. That's going to be your minimum altitude, your MEA, your expected altitude, or whatever was assigned by ATC. Given your route in IFR, your main job when you're when you're pre-flighting, is to find a departure, your en route, and mainly an arrival, or at least towards a final approach fix for a landing. I know, let's say if we're flying from here to Visalia, that, okay, we can use Shafter VOR, Thule VOR, and I know there should be an approach that starts at least near Thule VOR or somewhere around that. If it's a bigger airport, like let's say Monterey, or if it's San Diego, Montgomery Gibbs, if it's even Fresno, I could do an arrival, because I know an arrival is going to guarantee me an entry to an approach in that airport. So that's something that we need to focus on. We need to learn is that, for flying IFR routing, that we want to prepare for the worst and at least have some sort of, reassurance. I know if I do this, if I do that, it's going to get me into this airport. Instead of, we're going from here to this GPS waypoint and then starting or expecting vectors to an approach, because again, if you don't have that comms, you're not going to get vectors to the approach. If you don't have vectors to the approach, where are you going to join, So, best time to begin, again, we want to select a perfect route that would work out, the most appropriate initial approach fix, proceed to that initial approach fix, then commence descent and approach to bring into that airport. If we have an expected time as well, we want to get near that expected time, since a tower already has this plan to come in around that time. An important thing to note is, I'm trying to say how I want to word it, is that ATC's job, once they realize you have lost comms, is to make sure they can get you down at the best time appropriate. With all the traffic they already have to deal with everyone they already have routed, they have assigned in, they want to make sure that they can clear you for that airport and bring you in at the right time for a safe landing. Another thing to note is if it's an approach that has multiple kinds, like if it's an ILS Zulu or a Yankee, we want to pick the one with the lowest minimums, because assuming we have lost comms and assuming it's bad weather, we want to make sure we can get down and stay down. The last thing we want to do is shoot a missed approach and then go fly to an alternate airport when we don't have comms in the first place. So, again, commence descent and approach without delay. If you're cleared to a fix from which an approach begins, commence descent and approach as close to possible as expected time. If you don't have that time, as close to expected time of arrival. And if there is a clearance limit, not a fix, which begins with an approach, uh, leave fix at that time, proceed to the fix where the approach begins, and then commence the ascent as close to ETA as possible. So again, AVF, MEA, simple as that. Squawk 7600, and for the approach, unless you're cleared to the airport, you always want to wait until your estimated time of arrival. So that way, they have the correct spacing. Because again, they were already planning for you to come at that time. You don't want to come in earlier when they already have everybody else trying to join in on the approach, or you don't want to come in later when what you call it? Well, you don't want to come in later because now they're not sure what's happening to you in the air, and they have other aircraft that were waiting to come in. Yeah. Another thing I should say. Oh yeah, if it's VFR conditions at on lost comms, maintain VFR and land as soon as practical, or practicable. Practical. Sorry. If it's VFR for any emergency in IFR, just fly VFR if you can. If there's no clouds towards an airport, you want to land at the nearest airport, just simply get down. It's a safer bet instead of flying IFR and trying to follow these IFR routes, which, again, are there for a reason. But, I mean, if it's VFR, there is no reason not to just, oh, I see an airport, let's go land, let's get out of the air before something worse happens, before weather picks up, before more systems start to fail. So, yeah, that'll be it for today.